Hey, in today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 glitches that you probably have not seen at all. For example, this first one right here that is at Raya Lucaria Academy. We are going to head towards the north here. The Lost Grace that you want to spawn at in order to reach this part of the map is going to be at the Church of Cuckoo. Once you have, just go straight and then take a left and you will be exactly where I was just a few minutes ago. If you continue up towards the south here, you will need to dodge a few of these enemies. What I would recommend is let go of your sprint button there so that you can gain some of your stamina back, and then sprint forward, jumping around, and eventually you're going to be at the lift. So we got to watch out for the dog in the back there, man. Sometimes this dog will jump on top here, and yeah, you'll have an elevator buddy. It's not entirely fun. It can become quite hectic, but yeah, once you reach the top here, we can then take a right and go all the way down. There is going to be a dog there that I have to battle, but other than that, I have to cut that part out. Once you have reached the other side here, you will jump onto the lift here. That's what I'll call it. We will offhand swap with the Marika's hammer. You should be able to reach this side. You can then go around, and we will then use Black Blade. I do not believe that the Marika's hammer could work, but hey, I've yet to try it out. But instead, we're going to swap out the Marika's hammer and then use the black knife instead. We will use the black knife blade again, and once we have reached the other side, we will continue forward and we'll take a left there, and eventually we will reach a ledge where we can use the offhand swap one more time. Yet this time we are going to be using either the staff of the avatar or the dagger. And then we're going to continue up here, go all the way towards the left, like I mentioned a few seconds ago. And what's going to happen here is some parts are going to load in. For example, as I approach this wall here, it will look like, I will fall, but eventually the textures will load in. It's technically solid, but at the same time, there's just that weird graphic issue, I guess, where it pops in and it pops out. But yeah, once you're here, we can use the offhand swap. And what's going to happen is once you have used the offhand swap with the dagger or the staff of the avatar, we want to make sure that we have the Uchigatana in our left hand and the dagger in our right. We are going to then look for the mount. Let's try to use it. Hit L2, pause the game, go down, and replace that Uchigatana or swap the Uchigatana out with another blade that has the spinning weapon Ashes of War. You will then hold down the L2 button all the way. What's going to happen after 30 to 45 seconds, you should see some runes drop. This is a good sign, and eventually some other stuff will pop up if you hold down the L2 button a little bit longer there. Remember to hold down the L2 button until the runes drop. When it has and you've seen all the rewards pop up, you can then let go. If you have one of the twiggy tears that you have mixed in one of your flasks, you can drink that, and that will help you so that you do not have to go back here and pick up the runes. Just a little tip there. I know that I've not shown that too much in the previous videos, I guess. But yeah, one of you guys said, hey, why not mention it? And there you go. Coming up at number 2, this next glitch, some of you may have seen, yet we have used Marika's hammer before. This time, we are no longer going to be using that. Instead, we are just going to be using the black knife. This is great because some of you are probably not there, right? You've probably not caught up to the final boss, so you do not have the hammer. Well, if you go all the way towards the right here, go forward, go all the way towards the right, and you should see this like bumpy rock here that you can hop on top of. What I recommend that you do is look for your mount there, try to use it, and after using it, sprint forward. You're going to then climb the mountain here, and then, yeah, just continue up. If you have a summon, I recommend using it because this way it will distract the boss to some degree. Yet if the boss takes it out like so, the boss will be focused on you. Two things to note here. You can cheese the boss by simply arrowing at him from this height. He cannot harm you. Or what you can do is use the black knife blade, the offhand swap here. And what you can do is offhand swap all the way up and more so towards the right. And what this is going to allow you to do is reach a certain part where we can then climb up a little bit more and then use the same tactic that we just used a few minutes ago. So without getting ahead of myself here, let's just talk about what we are going to be doing right now. In order to do this again, we will hold Uchikatana in both hands. We will try to use our mount, hit L2, pause the game, and replace Uchikatana with the spinning weapon. You should be able to pop up here at the top. Now that we are at the top here, we are going to use the offhand swap once more. This time we are going to get on the top here. Unfortunately, you cannot use your mount to do so like we've done prior with the other rock there. But yeah, once you're on the top, just continue towards the left here and then jump towards the right. We will then eventually come across this tricky part here, and the only reason why I say it's tricky is because there's just this little piece of ledge that you can land on, and you can see that I fail here about, I don't know, 3 times. Eventually, I think I might get it here, right here. Nope, I failed again. So eventually you will see or feel the little bump here like so, and then you can jump over the ledge. Now, it is possible that you can use the black knife if you choose to. I just prefer to do that way. Why not? And you're just going to head towards the end here. We will use the same exact method that we just used prior. So make sure that you have the dagger that has ground slam, or if you have the staff of the avatar, you can use that as well. Once you do see your character hop up all weird like that, you can then hold down the L2 button. What should happen is eventually the runes will drop, as well as the boss. The first one will drop, and then the second one will jump in. Eventually, that one will fall below the map, and then you will be able to recover the runes from that, as well as the items from both of these bosses. Let's now move on towards number 3. What we are going to be doing over here at Crumbling Ferrum Azula is we are going to be going towards the Lost Grace that's just before the boss room here. You will then head towards the edge and use Hand of Millennia's Blade, the waterfowl, and you can then land right here. Drop below and then take a left. What you can then do is head towards the east, and we are going to then continue along this path. You may notice that the ground here, it sounds like you're walking on water. I have no clue why it's like that, but it is what it is. Continue towards the right here, and then we are going to drop below the map. We will now offhand swap. Make sure that you swap out the Millennia's Blade there, and then we can use something like a dagger with ground slam or staff of the avatar. Try to use your mount, hit L2 right as your character looks for it, and swap out that Uchikatana with the spinning weapon ashes. Hold down the L2 button all the way, so this way you will not fall to your death, and after 30 to 45 seconds, you should be able to see everything pop up, like so. The armor and everything, including the Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. Unfortunately, this does not take out the boss in this area, so it's kind of whatever, right? But hey, at least you're able to take out some of these enemies. Continuing on, we are going to be talking about a rune farm that has been around since the beginning of the game. And this is going to be right over here towards the bottom of the consecrated snowfields. We are going to take the lift up, and we will then proceed forward towards the south. What you're going to do is locate the ledge here, or the edge here, and we are going to then directly jump right off with the mount. So just make sure that you are double jumping, because I know some people do not sprint, or they just don't double jump at all. And yeah, you have to double jump in order to make it over the death barrier. So continue to swipe, and you should see the runes pop up 30 to 45 seconds in. And if you are not aware, if you stop tacking midair, what's going to happen is you will fall to your death. So continuously swipe with your sword or whatever it is. For example, I'm using my fist, and you should be able to acquire some runes. And in order to survive the fall damage, pause the game and then spawn right back at the Lost Grace. The next glitch is going to be right here at the entrance of Raya Lucaria Academy. We are going to head towards the left here, and we're going to head towards the bottom there by using the offhand swap with Marika's hammer. And once you have done so, you can then just sprint forward and reach the top portion. It's going to look like you're floating. Eventually you will load out of Raya Lucaria Academy like so, and then you'll load outside of it. So now we're pretty much towards the lake here. The next step is to use the offhand swap once more towards the east. We are going to land right there on the rock, and you should be able to survive the height like I've done. And we are going to use the mount. Once you have used the mount, go towards the left and climb the rocks all the way up towards the right. If you happen to somehow load back into Raya Academy there, then yeah, it's possible, right? What happens is you're eventually going to rub against a barrier or part of a texture that then loads part of that map in, and that can absolutely happen. But just continue towards the right here, and we're going to jump on each rock. It is very forgiving here because if you do mess up on a jump, you can climb back up. We are going to head towards the east. Do not jump towards the south, you will fall towards your death. Make sure you hop on your mount and jump forward. I recommend double jumping because if you don't, you're not going to survive it most likely. And what you're going to notice here is I'm going to completely mess this jump up. What's great about it, again, is this is forgiving here because these rocks, oh man, they have like very pointy sides so that you can then land on top of the ledges and you can jump all over the place really. You can then drop down and eventually we will come towards a stop. We will need to drop down below towards the right here because you can no longer go forward. Continue along this path. There's going to be a texture here that's kind of blocking our view. We're going to jump towards the left. Do not jump towards the right. If you jump too far towards the right, you're going to fall towards your death. Jumping to the left, you will land on a soft spot there. As you can tell right there, just continue forward. And there you go. We're going to land on this bottom texture here, which is going to be sort of like a, looks more so like a floor texture, but it appears to be part of the rocks or the mountain here. We're going to go towards the right, double jump. Run against the wall if you have to. Drop down below, and then land right here. Do not jump all crazy like, make sure that you're just relaxed. If you do so, you're going to fall towards your death, like this. What I suggest that you do is just kind of maintain your level there, because if you jump around all over the place, for some reason, it messes with the fall damage. So just kind of chill right here, and then drop below towards the left there, land right there, and then you'll slide down safely. We are now at the bottom of Raya Lucaria Academy. We are going to then travel towards the west here. If you open up your map, you will notice that there's a crystal cave in the distance. We are going to travel towards that way, and we will then hop on top of the crystal cave and follow it all the way towards the boss. Yeah, let me show you where it is directly here. So go towards the west, and you will notice that there's an opening. There's a way for you to actually jump underneath the map here, and it's right there. If you go too close to the side here, it might take you off of your mount. This is just because of the cave. So we'll jump down below, turn around, and then it'll kick us off of our mount. We will then walk all the way towards the end here, towards the boss. At that point, you can then use the same exact method prior, which is going to be the offhand swap with the dagger, or if you have the Staff of the Avatar, you can use that as well. Again, Uchikatana in one hand, dagger in the other. Look for your mount, try to use it, swap the Uchikatana out once you've hit L2, and make sure that you have it swapped out with the spinning weapon. Remember to hold down the L2 button, because if you let go, you will fall towards your death. What's going to happen eventually after 30 to 45 seconds, if you can guess, yeah, runes are going to pop up, items are going to pop up, and you're just going to clear out this area. What's cool about this is that I believe there is a lift there that takes you up towards Lucaria, or excuse me, Raya Lucaria Academy, and I've yet to use it. What's crazy is after playing this game for so long, I did not know that was a thing, and I did not even know this cave was here, so that's kind of ridiculous, right? Next up, we are going to travel towards the Lost Grace known as Gate Town North. We are going to rest until nightfall, and at that point, you will then exit out of the Lost Grace, and then look at the top of the compass there, and make sure that you are heading in the direction towards the south. This way, we are going to then spawn in the Deathrite Bird. This boss should spawn on the left side here, like so. You'll then head forward and go towards this rock that's sort of slanted. What's great about this, eventually the boss will head in your general direction. The boss will try to jump up in the air, like so, hit the death barrier, and then from there you will be rewarded with items. It's that easy. No offhand swap, no jumping off the map. Just literally lead the boss over here, allow it to jump up, and it'll hit the death barrier. This next glitch requires that you do not interact with the boss at all so that there's no missed door. You will then use the offhand swap with the black knife blade so that we can then go around this church. You'll rinse and repeat this so that you're around the next gap here. Okay, let's go around it, and there we go. You'll then proceed towards the yellow mist door. The boss should be active, eventually attacking the door. You can use arrows, you can use the black knife blade, you can use a variety of different items, right? The boss will stick out like so, and I'll show you what I've done right here is use the black knife. You can cheese the boss or glitch the boss, whatever you want to call it, and there you go. You will be rewarded with the Stitcher and the Noble Presence, as well as runes. If you enjoyed the previous Deathrite Bird glitch, then you're going to love this next one over here at the Southern Swamp Bank. We will then make sure that we go towards the top there and make sure that we rest till nightfall. We will exit out, head towards the east, and you should see the Deathrite Bird in the distance. And next to this boss, there will be a route that we are going to jump and go beneath. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here. So we'll go towards the right. Do not get too close to the boss there. If you're on New Game Plus, you know that that boss does not mess around. Now, here is the route that I mentioned earlier. We're going to go underneath it sort of here, and we can continuously roll forward so we can avoid damage. If that's not the case, you can then back up a little bit so that the bird does jump on top of the route here. Eventually, the boss will jump backwards. Overall, just falling towards its death, and it's that easy. And last but not least, one of my favorite rune farms to use is right over here at Orgina's. Some of you are probably not a huge fan of this, and this might just be because you prefer the Dynasty rune farm, and I understand it with the arrow and the bird. I just prefer to do this way just in case I do run out of arrows. I know that you can go back to the vendor and purchase some more, but I just rather continuously farm and not have to worry about that. That's why I prefer these type of glitches. You just have to go towards the ledge here after you've solved the puzzle and double jump. After 30-45 seconds, you will see the runes drop, and it's that easy. This does work, and I'm sure next patch they will fix this. They'll actually probably fix a few glitches. And of course, we have the DLC coming up. There's a lot of things to be excited for. And before I go, most importantly, if you are new to the channel, click the subscribe button, click the notifications for all. And of course, if you enjoy the video, give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave it down below. I will try to reply back to you. And thank you guys for currently being subscribed. If you are coming back to watch the channel, I appreciate the love and support so much. And I'll see y'all on the next one.